everyone, it's Christian Girl Kelly, and today I have a special video for you. It is a collab. We are going to have a lot of fun talking about finding your tribe, part 1. So stay tuned because I am going to introduce my very special guest, and we have a very special video for you.
Hi guys.
Hey everyone.
I know, there's 2 of us. Surprise.
So excited today.
Yes.
So excited today because we are talking about something that you know you need to hear about.
Yes.
Yes.
Get your listening ears
about?
on.
Yeah.
Finding your tribe, making friends, finding friends, who are the right friends.
Right.
All of that.
Right. And we talk about relationships all the time, friendships all the time, yes. No new friends, hashtags, and all this stuff. But
guilty.
Yeah. I mean, we have this, but are we really making the best relationships, the best friendships? Yes. That's the question. We are talking about finding your tribe today.
Yes, we are.
But of course, there's 2 of us, and we want to make sure that we introduce each other.
Great.
So I am here with Taina Christina. Here she is. Follow her on Instagram. Follow her on YouTube. For all of my followers, I hope that you enjoy this. Like, subscribe. Super dope channel. We want you to know about Taina Christina.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And hi y'all, to all my friends and family. I got Christian Girl Kelly here on my channel. Head over to her channel, tell her I sent you, subscribe, follow her on all her social medias. I will have them linked down below in the description box for you. Be friends. Let's create a bigger community.
Yes.
Let's all be friends in one big happy family. But we're so glad to be talking today about friendship and, even just a little bit of how we came to be here.
Yes.
And now we're doing this.
Yes. So let's tell them about it. How did we meet?
We met at, you guessed it, church.
Church. Yeah, we church girls. Yeah, definitely.
We love the Lord.
We love the Lord. He heard my cry. Hallelujah.
We met at, I think it was probably YNG.
Yeah. So our young adult.
YNG is our young adult group. I think that was, we went there.
Yeah. So we met a young adult event at our church. I was new to the church.
Yes.
Just got here a couple of months ago. Already heard church, and we connected that way. Saw each other at some more events, more church events. We went to a really cool poetry event. I think that was like the real click.
Yeah.
When we went to the poetry event, carpooled over, Christian poetry event, and just connected from there. Yeah.
And now we're here.
Yeah.
Look at the Lord.
Hallelujah. Hey, won't he do it? Won't he do it?
Yeah, so like it's funny how, things work. I don't think anything's by coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny that 2 Christian YouTubers
Yeah.
in the small demographic of Christian YouTubers would meet
true.
in all places, New England.
Yeah.
The Christian world is like, oh, New England. But yet, here we are. Doing this. So it was awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And we also, like, the fact that not only are we here in this region that's not known, right, for having lots of Christians together, being YouTubers, but also, like, having different personalities, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So I would say I am an extrovert.
I'm not.
Right. So definitely, like, I'm the person who, when I'm out and about, I am the one who's, like, initiating conversation. I'll ask questions. I'm like, hi, my name is, what is your name? Yeah. And, I mean, Taina Christina will tell you that
I don't do any of those things. Keeping it real here, you already know. I am totally the poster child for an introvert. I am very much keep to myself. Very shy in a room. I people watch, and I scope maybe who's that one person I can probably chit chat for a little bit, and then I'm totally okay, like sitting by myself in silence, in a room full of people. So we are like polar opposite.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we say that because we think that it's really important when you're trying to find your tribe. Before you even extend yourself, you need to know yourself.
Yes.
You need to know who you are.
Hashtag.
What type of person are you? Are you the type of person who, you're going to this event and you can go by yourself? And we talked about this. Like, I went by myself. I knew no one. I was like, I found this church online. I found out about this event probably like the first time I went. And I was like, Absolutely. I'm gonna go. I'm not worried about that. I'm gonna meet somebody there. And I mean, and that's what I did.
Stranger danger.
Right. I don't have any problems with that. But you know, like I know that about myself, and so I realize that when I'm going places, I'm usually looking for people who might be a little quieter. Like I am that person, and I don't know how you feel like, but I'm like, hi, how are you? Just super excited.
Like,
and just knowing that I'm comfortable with being in these situations and being the only person who doesn't have a crew, who doesn't have a clique. It's important for me to know that, because when I'm interacting with people who are extroverts, they get it, we get it, we click really quickly. But also understanding when I'm interacting with introverts, you have to bring it down a little bit, understand that, it's not necessarily that they're not interested or not friendly, but, I'm just coming with my big extroverted self to the environment. Yeah.
Agreed. And as an introvert, knowing that you have to kind of get past that you're an introvert, I think we, use that as a comfort, as a security. Like, oh no, we're just shy. Like, there's a difference between shy and being introverted. Like, you can just be a shy extrovert too. But like when you're introverted, it's just naturally not your comfort zone. It's naturally not your personality to like put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And so understand that, like, receive from that extroverted person who's coming up to you. Like, don't shut them down so fast after just like hello and like say hi and goodbye. Like, receive from that person, engage in conversation with that person, because that's how you can get to know people. As an introvert who doesn't naturally talk to people that they don't know, receiving from that person and engaging in conversation is a technique that you do have to learn and like practice doing that. Like, go somewhere and be like, okay, the next person who's not a creepy person, if you get like creep vibes, I understand, okay? Yeah. But if they're not, weirding you out just yet, engage in conversation with that person, and you never know what kind of friendship can grow from that. So learning that art, practicing it, getting more courageous and going to things alone, or going to things a little early before your friends get there. That's true, right. Just to kind of scope out the place and observe. Funny story, actually.
Yeah, tell the story.
I went to an event yesterday, and I got there before my friends did, and they were playing People Bingo, which we play a lot at our young adults group. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, People Bingo. I'm like, I don't want to play People Bingo. Like, I'm like, I play this all the time. And I also was like, I also don't want to talk to anybody in this room. I knew no one. And I was the first one to get there, so I got my People Bingo sheet. And if you don't know what it is, it's basically a bingo board. And it has all these topics or questions, and you need to go find someone that fits, something in the board, like someone whose favorite color is blue. When you find that person and you get to write their name, and when you get bingo, you win. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not going to ask anybody any of these questions. I'm not playing this game. And people would come up to you because other people are playing the game, right? Because other people want to win the prize.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hi. My name's Taina. Can I help you with your board? Please leave. And it was so awkward. But I had to, like, let that wall down and be, okay, even if I don't want to play, at least the people who are coming to me, let me help them out. Get their name, see if they go to this particular church that was holding this event or whatever the case may be. And then they're going to go away because they're playing a game. So they're going to move on to the next person. Right. So it's really short interactions, but letting myself do that in an environment where I would probably be like, oh, I'm going to go sit in the bathroom until my friends get here, is a step forward. So for my introverted people, go places a little bit earlier than your friends, because, of course, my friends came, and I was like, yay, they do.
Right.
I'm not leaving my bubble.
Yeah, exactly.
But that period of time beforehand, I was like, oh, my gosh. I'm, like, texting them. I'm like, yeah, you guys here? Yeah. Like, park your car. Like, come inside. Right. We're in the back. Please find me. Yeah. But it was a good time. I had a good time. That's good. Met some names, did some Instagram, switching, exchanges. So do that, my introvert folks. Yeah. Step out.
Right. And I think that really does kind of move us into our next topic. We want to talk about where to meet people. So when you're trying to find find out who you are, figure out what you like. What do you like? Yeah. I mean, we're both church girls. Yes. So I spend a lot of my time, if I'm not like working, I'm probably doing something church related,
Same.
Christian related,
Yeah.
love the Lord Jesus. But we have different interests. And so if you're the type of person, for example, if you love museums, we were just talking about museums, we love museums. So if you're the type of person who likes museums, maybe you go to like a museum opening, like a gallery opening. And that's a good place to find people who are like-minded. They like to look at art. They like to talk about art. And so you might find people who are like-minded. Another example is if you are someone who is really into music. And you like concerts, like outdoor concerts, free concerts, jazz, or whatever you like, rock, whatever it might be. Like, you should consider, the type of events, not just the music events where there are concerts, but there might be other appreciation events that they have around the city or town that you live in. And it's a nice time for you to get to know people who also share those interests. Yes.
And it's always like, oh, go to these things. Go to these things if they actually interest you.
Right.
Don't go because you're like, oh, I want to meet people who like love music or know about this music, and then you go and you can't hold a conversation, or you're kind of like, I actually don't know why I'm here.
This is true.
Like, it makes sense. You want people who, you want your friend circle to be very diverse, but at the same time, like, first impression, you want to go somewhere where you're comfortable in having a conversation. Because the goal is to make friends.
Exactly.
So going somewhere, I probably would not go to like an art museum. I'm not a connoisseur. I don't know like all these terms or all these things.
Yeah.
And so if someone came up to me and wanted to have this great conversation, I'm like, I can't help you. I got nothing for you. That kind of kills the whole mood. Right there. And they're like, well, then why are you here? Why are you talking to me? Like, what's going on? So go somewhere where you're actually interested.
Absolutely.
Like, and it actually fascinates you. You actually want to learn more. You have a little base knowledge, so you can have a conversation with somebody, and it can flow that way versus it's like that person's like, oh, you don't really know anything, and now they're awkwardly talking to you, and they're trying to figure out a way to escape the conversation because you're just like, I got nothing for you, and it becomes really weird. So go somewhere where you want to go.
Right. That's very true.
And your friend circle will become diverse by itself naturally.
Yeah. And I think that's really, I know there's been some times where I've gone places that I was not, very keen on going. And I think this goes into peer pressure as well, especially if you're in a new environment, especially maybe you've had a major change of friends and you're trying to make new friends, right? That's the whole goal. And so maybe you get an invitation from somebody randomly, like, hey, we're all going to go out to do this, or we're going to go see this or that, the other. Not every invitation is a good invitation.
I agree.
Not every invitation. So if you are in a situation where you're like, I just want to go out because I was invited. Think about where you're invited. Think about whether it's some place that you should be. I know I have like gone. I don't know why I did this, but I was out. Yeah, I was out. The story time. I was out, and I was in another country, and a friend who I was on the trip with was like, yeah, we're all gonna go out and go bar hopping. No, I don't know bar hopping. What was I gonna do? I was just gonna sit around and look at everybody else, do their shots and just,
can I get some more water?
Right, exactly. Where's it called? Ginger ale. And I like dancing. So that was the thing that kind of got me, but I knew the environment was not right for dancing. Everybody was gonna be doing something different than I wanted to do, but it was like everybody was going. What ended up happening? I went miserable.
Ugh.
I was miserable. Like, it was not my scene at all. And so it led to me, don't take this. Don't do this. This is not advice. This is just what I did. This is disclaimer. This is what I did. I left the group early.
Don't leave the group, guys. Even if you're miserable.
I left the group early, got lost in the middle of the city, outside of this country, and it was a mess. I couldn't speak the language.
Oh, no.
My cell phone service wasn't working right. It was... I couldn't find my way back to our residence at that time.
Oh no,
it's a mess. So I say all that because you really do need to choose wisely where you go.
Yes.
Every invitation is not a good invitation. Figure out who you are, what you like, and do those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great story. I 100%
It was
agree.
a mess, let me tell you.
Oh my.
Praise the Lord, though. Hallelujah.
Yes.
I'm here right now
Protection.
standing. Yes,
Oh my
protection.
goodness.
Hedge of protection over me.
My Lord. Don't do that.
But yeah, don't do that. No, you don't have to find your tribe that way.
No.
Don't give into that temptation.
But peer pressure is real.
It is.
And
it is.
And I always, okay, my friends like to say I'm a little bit of a bully. Because I'm always like, good peer pressure. Like, we're going to bully you to do something good and, like, something that's awesome and great for you. But there's definitely, the way peer pressure is, known to the world is negative. And that's very, very true.
Mm-hmm.
And your story proves a point. Like, everyone's going, you're in a foreign country.
Yeah.
These are the people that you know. Right? Like, you don't know many other people. So you're like, man, if everyone's going, let me hang out. If I don't hang out, they're going to come back and be like, like, you're like the party pooper. Nice. And it's like, and now, like, what happens if you have no friends and you're in a foreign country or something? You're like, I don't know what to do. And, like, peer pressure is so real.
Yeah.
And be mindful when you have a lot of people in your life who peer pressure you to do things that you don't want to do. Like, it's different from, like, oh, let's go to, like, I'm peer pressuring you to go to lunch and you don't want to. And it's like, let's just go. We're going to have a girl time. It's fun. And then you go and, of course, you have a great time.
Right.
Right? Versus, like, I don't know, like your example. Yeah. Let's go bar hopping. And you're like, I don't drink. I don't go to bars. Why am I going? And I'm like, let's go bar hopping. And you're like, stop. And I'm like, let's go. Yeah. And then you end up hating your time while you're out. So be mindful of those friends that maybe this video might help you to reevaluate those friendships that are peer pressuring you to do things that are not good for you, that don't sit well with your own personal convictions, and things of that nature.
Yeah. Agreed. So talking about looking for your tribe, finding your tribe, we've talked about where to find your people, how to find your people, and I'm looking at the notes so we don't miss anything. Yeah. How do you make friends?
I think
how to make friends. That's the question.
For the introverts, all my introverts, if you're an introvert, leave me a purple heart down below. All my introvert people, the purple heart. It's for y'all. Okay? I think one thing I've learned now as an older young adult is I have to be open to conversation. And I had to learn the art of small talk. Okay? The art of small talk will change everything, y'all. If you are an introvert, learn how to have small talk. Yeah. It seems so impersonal because you're like, oh, how was your day? Where do you work? Where do you go to college? All these things. But those small questions that seem to, like, everyone asks and, like, it's so, like, why do I care? Can lead to, really in-depth conversations with somebody. Like, if they're from, you studied abroad and, like, all that started, like, oh, where'd you go to college? Like, I went here, but then I went to this country, and all these things get to expound on that one question that seems so, like, cliche to ask somebody. So learning the art of small talk, I think, is number one, and being comfortable with doing that is number two. So practice. Go out, like I said, a little earlier than your friends arrive, and practice the art of small talk. It will really help you just learn how to practice having conversations with people in situations where you might be a little uneasy. Because I think the misconception of introverts is that we're mean, or that we don't like to talk, or we don't want to have friends. I'm like, we want friends. We just don't know how to make it when it's in an environment there's just so many people. And even over the weekend, that event I went to, I kept on saying, there's so many people here, there's so many people here. And my other friends were like, there's not that many people here. Like, we probably held bigger events in our church. And I'm like, there's just so many people here. Like, I was like, I couldn't take it. And so learning yourself and understanding yourself and knowing, like, okay, large crowds, you're going to be a little comfortable, you're going to be a little uneasy. But learning the art of small talk, get your questions ready, y'all. Yeah. Find your top three questions that you want to ask that can lead to deeper questions, and go from there. Because when you find an extroverted person, they're going to conversate with you. So get top three, just three, and see that you can have tons of conversations and meet people and find out fascinating things, really. Yeah. So I think that's one of the ways you can make friends. And the other way I think you can make friends is doing that in the right environment. So again, back to what we're saying, finding places that you like, that you enjoy, things that you like, things that you enjoy. It does not make sense for me to go and, like, try to find my best friend at a bar, at 2 a.m. when, she or he is like had 16 beers at this point and I don't drink. Like, it doesn't make sense, right? Like, nothing really, I mean, maybe. You never know. But the likelihood, right, of like my best friend coming out of this situation, it's probably lower than if we met at church or at an event or something like a conference. That I love going to conferences and feeding my mind of things of great people who've experienced and lived a lot more than me.
Yeah.
Then meeting someone in that situation and we have great conversation about the session we were in and we exchange numbers and continue talking about these things. That might foster a much deeper friendship because we both found each other in an environment that we enjoy to be in. Yeah. So those are my top 3 tips on how to find friends for my introvert folks.
Yeah. And then I would say extroverts.
Yes.
Blue heart. There you go. So if you are an extrovert, blue heart below. And I would agree. I think the approach is a little different. So for a small talk, we got it. And then I would say when you go into a new environment and you're getting to know someone, a humor is very helpful.
Yeah.
I would say that, like, small talk, maybe you figure out in the first few things, where you from, do you live around here, have you been to this place before? But then, sometimes you could just have a little fun.
Yeah,
I think that's really important. Just to laugh. Laughter is really cool. Yeah. It brings people together. Yes. And so if it's your personality, if you are not a funny person, don't
try to
don't force it now. Don't force it now. Do not misrepresent yourself.
Yes.
But if you are someone who can make a joke, it's cool. Just make a joke. Yeah. Something that might connect you. Yeah. You may be someone who's really quirky and an extrovert. So, just be yourself. The people who understand you, who will, like, connect with you, they will.
Yes.
I think the most important thing is to be yourself. Like, if you're someone who is very into, sports, for example, and that's where you are, then the people around you will likely be there and have the same interests. Yeah. But just be real, you might get into a little argument about your sports teams. And
Competition.
A healthy little competition. But that's cool if you're the kind of person who likes, little swanky events and you like, being able to talk about things that are, very intellectual, and I love that as well. If you, whatever it is, you just be yourself. Yeah. And I think people will be able to quickly tell if you're being authentic or not.
Yes.
That's very, very important, to be your authentic self. And so those will be on top of what you said, what my pieces of advice will be for those who are looking to find friends.
Sounds great advice.
Good friends. Yeah.
Great advice. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well.
So, was there anything else that we want to do? So, one thing, I don't know if we said this, but this is part 1. This is part 1. And so we have a lot that we want to share about, like, the tribe and kind of get a little deeper into what it looks like to be on the inner circle. But I think we're going to say that to the next time. But I think that really is. Was there anything else that we wanted to talk about?
I think we covered it in part 1.
I think we covered it in part 1.
Yeah, this is the beginning.
Right. Yeah. Honestly, finding your tribe. And we know in this society there's so much, there's such a big misconception about, like, how many friends people really have and close friends. We want you to be encouraged. To know that if you right now, you're in a season of life maybe that you don't have a lot of friends, or you've had to change friends, you had to drop some people, just know that if no one else loves you, Jesus loves you. Right? God is here. Yes, for those. And I have been in positions in my life, I've been through times where I did not have friends, whether I was moving to a totally new place or I had some friendships that were questionable. Well, I'll talk about that in the next video. Fake friendships. But honestly, there were moments where I was like, you know what? It's going to be me and Jesus for right now, because that's who I can lean on. Yeah. And so I would say that, for anyone who's feeling discouraged, hopefully this is encouragement. Like, honestly, it will not last always. If you're transitioning in any way between friendships, like, you will find your tribe.
Yes. You will.
You will find your tribe. Like,
You
I
will.
can tell you
Yeah.
that you will definitely find your tribe. And so I guess we're going to leave them right here.
We are.
We are going to leave you right here.
Because you stay tuned for part 2.
Part 2 is coming. Please like this video if you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to our channels, Tiny Christina, Christian Girl Kelly. And we look forward to seeing you for part 2. Bye, everyone.
Bye. That was great.
Excellent.